y'all, I'm back. I just did a video on my favorite eyeshadow palettes from 2020. I can't think, my brain isn't working. But I have a whole bin here of eyeshadow palettes that just did not work for me in 2020. I feel like this year, I kind of said in my last video, I've been really focusing on more like neutral palettes. And I feel like this year was so hit and miss. I feel like we had some really amazing launches and some not so amazing launches. I just want to get right into it. If you don't know me, my name is Greg. Now you know me. Let's hop into it. Alright, first one I'm starting out with is a Melt palette, and it's funny because I just mentioned the Melt Rust palette in my favorites of 2020, but this is the She's in Party palette. I was just like not about this. Basically, this was like a revamp of their She's in Parties stack. But as you can see, it's just a palette of all like auburny plum shades, which normally I would be very into. These are definitely like shades that are up my alley, but there's something about these that just, they blend together. A lot of these deeper shades towards the end here just look the same on the eye. Yeah, I was definitely disappointed by this one. I feel like, again, the quality wasn't bad, but just the color scheme, definitely we could have used like just some variation in tone. I would have liked to see like maybe a brighter red or just like a brighter plum shade, maybe a darker purple, just to mix it up because these tones are so similar. So yeah, this one was definitely a fail. Next one I want to talk about is a Morphe palette. I love Morphe. Morphe is my brand. I have a lot of favorites from Morphe. This one just didn't work for me. This is the 35C palette. So when I first initially saw this, I was all about it, especially because, like I said for the 100th time, neutrals have been so big this year, and this is a palette of just really beautiful neutral shades, almost leaning more cool toned. It's just the shimmers in here are definitely more of like the topper kind of formulas, which is good if you like something that's just more everyday, natural, nothing too crazy. For me, I like my metallics to be metallic. I like my shimmers to be shimmery. Like, I like bold, intense color off the bat. So it just wasn't my cup of tea. There wasn't wrong necessarily with the formula, but just, I don't know. When I first saw it, I was really into it. And then as I started using it, I was just like, it's okay. It's just okay. It's not a bad palette, but I was expecting more. Next one. This, I feel like I'm gonna get hated for this, but this is the Haus Laboratories Stupid Love palette. Okay, not that this palette's not bad. I will say that right off the bat. This palette is not bad. But when I heard that Haus Labs was going to do like a Chromatica themed palette and like a Stupid Love themed palette, everything, this was not what I was expecting. You get some really beautiful blue shades, some purple shades, and some warmer tones. They're all really beautiful. The shades themselves individually are beautiful. I struggle trying to make a look with this palette just because some of the shades are just not cohesive. I feel like the blue shades are really nice, the warm shades are really nice, but I don't know. I feel like it's hard for me to envision more than like two looks with this palette. I think the shades are beautiful on their own. I don't know, I was expecting more. I wish that she would have done like, I don't know, maybe just like a blue palette and just like a neutral palette. But all in all, the quality isn't terrible. Is it the best? No. Just expecting a little bit more. This one was a huge letdown for me. Like, not even gonna talk shit. This is the Suva Beauty Hypercolor palette. So these, basically, the way that this is laid out, you get 4 different, like, shimmery, like, holographic-y topper shades. These are beautiful. These are so stunning. I'll swatch one here. So they're basically, like, the toppers are just sheer, duochrome, topper shades, basically. They're meant to be used over top of the matte shades in the palette. These mattes are so bad. Like, they're just so bad. I can't sugarcoat it. Like, the blue, this like turquoise shade, they just are so lackluster on the eye. They're so dry. They blend into dust. It's just not an enjoyable experience. sure, you could work with this palette and get a look done, but it's just, there is way better, brighter mattes out there. It's a shame because I don't want to get rid of this palette because these shimmery toppers are so beautiful, but the mattes I just can't get behind. So this one came out this year and I was so excited for this one. This is the Nikkie Tutorials and Beauty Bay collaboration. I mentioned the Mitchell palette from Beauty Bay in my favorites video, so of course I was really hyped to see what Beauty Bay had to come out with. This is basically a pressed pigment palette, super bright shades, curated by Nikkie Tutorials. Definitely not a cohesive palette at all by any means. This looks like just a clusterfuck. Like, this literally just looks like I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. The shimmers are beautiful. These metallic shimmery shades look stunning on the eyes, but I literally cannot create a look with this palette. Like, I just can't. I don't know. Everything is just so not cohesive at all. I mean, I see, like, I do like a blue look, you can do a more neutral look, but I just struggle so hard with this palette. The quality I can get to work for me, really not a quality issue. I just wish that this palette was just more cohesive. Maybe just have the colors laid out differently, something, because I really wanted to love this palette and I couldn't get on with it. Last but not least, I wanted to mention the ABH Norvina. This is the Mini Pro Pigment Palette Volume 3. This one came out earlier this year. It's like the red kind of like cherry palette. Kind of same issue as the Nikkie Tutorials palette that I just mentioned. The shades in here are stunning, especially this like glittery duochrome, like pressed glitter. It's so pretty. I don't know if you guys will be able to see on the back of my hand. It's like the glitter is so beautiful. It's like a pink, gold, green, so stunning. But again, I can't use red and green and blue all in the same look. It's just not my vibe. I don't know. That's more my fault for picking it up because I was just excited to have something new from Anastasia, but I just can't vibe with this palette. Like, there's just something about it. I struggle to create a look with it. The shades individually are beautiful. Maybe if I can pot this palette, I might. Just because, like I said, the individual shades are so beautiful. I don't know, I struggle to create a look with this palette. So this is another fail for me. That was basically everything that I tried in not everything, I tried a lot more than this. But these are a few standout products that were just misses for me. If you haven't seen my last video, I did some standout favorite eyeshadow palettes of 2020, so make sure you check that video out. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for anything new that I post, and I'll see you in the next one.